93 years old and have lived in this beautiful area for 66 years. First home my husband and I ever bought. And we enjoyed it so much we just stayed. We didn't see any reason to leave. We would have picnics in this park. Other neighbors would get together and we would decide on which holiday we were going to have it. Certainly, even after he passed, I didn't have any intentions of moving. None whatsoever. I mean, I wanted to age in place, and if I left, it would be feet first going out the door. I would be deceased.
Margaret did leave, though, in 2018 when her daughter Shawnee came to visit and was overwhelmed by the smell of mold. They blame leaks caused by a developer who demolished the homes attached to the Strothers on either side to build new construction. The developer, John Cassidy, was drawn to 45th Street for the same perks as Margaret, but he saw the area as a promising investment. He says the block needed his help.
There's no question. I mean, when half the block's toothed out, it looked like Kensington when I arrived. And that's what shocked me because it was in such a good location that no other developer was interested in it. I couldn't believe it. But I've always been lucky, so.
As he built more and more, it was like every year was another one. I would say, wait a minute. First he had 1, 2, 3, then it was more and more. Now, I think they're about 13 now.
Cassidy marketed the new buildings to students at the nearby University of the Sciences. But residents said demolitions caused problems because the century-old homes were constructed to stand together. They shared a structural support system.
This was our neighbor's back door right here.
You have no idea of my shock. These homes were attached, and you're going to come and saw them? I didn't know how that was going to happen. House on either side of me, both houses were knocked down, and my house was standing alone, and it was not built to stand alone. And it stood alone for over a year with no siding, no waterproofing, no nothing. With those houses being torn down, my house really took a beating.
This wall is bearing the load of our entire fire escape. This one's about 25 feet long, about 7 inches wide, and about 25 feet tall. And water comes in here.
What I noticed was cracks. I would look, that crack wasn't there. And then you began to see watermarks. And then after a while, you began to see the water. It was scary, yeah, because you didn't know whether one of those beams or something, the whole house, would fall on you.
Cassidy said the city's L&I inspectors do a thorough job regulating this type of construction to ensure surrounding homes are not damaged in the process.
Well, that's the point of L&I coming in. L&I comes in and inspects the foundations of the property next door and then recommends to your engineers what should be done to maintain the integrity. If they were satisfied, I was satisfied.
Margaret and Shawnee called 311 and 911 repeatedly about the construction. L&I issued almost 40 violations, but work continued. In January of 2023, a jury determined John Cassidy and his real estate company, JMC Realty, were liable for the damage to Margaret's home. She was awarded $261,000. Cassidy argues that the trial was unfair and that between insurance claims, the lawsuit, and confidential settlements with contractors, the Strothers have made out well. He says he has a good relationship with neighbors, except for Shawnee.
That's why I moved around the corner. I'm here every day, 4 or 5 times a day. I call it farming. I come around here, check my field, take care of the trash, sweep up, whatever needs to be done. The hassle and intimidation from that woman, she was obsessed with me. It's like the roadrunner being chased by Wile E. Coyote. Please, all right, come on, lady, enough's enough. You got your money, you still have your house. What's the point here? I'm not going away.
5 years after what was supposed to be a temporary move, Margaret still hasn't returned to her home. Shawnee says after legal fees, expert reports, rent for temporary housing, and storage units, they are not in a financial position to rebuild.
If I start thinking about it, I can really get a headache. What my husband and I had worked for and planned for seemed to have gone with the wind. Gone with the wind. And right now, we can't live in it, and we can't rebuild. I thought my older age would not be this. The way I envisioned it, it would be a whole lot better.